Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. These are your messages. The Six of Wands. Great start. This is a card of success, of victory. When this comes up, especially like it's coming up as your underlying energy. So it looks like November is going to be either about getting recognition for work that you've already done, or you're going to be going after something that's going to give you success or victory. A very strong reading, really great kind of energetic cards coming in. That's one of the things I always look out for Aries. I've said this in your last few readings as well. It's been kind of like an ebb and flow with your energy, and you're such an energetic sign that, it really kind of is noticeable when your energy kind of ebbs, when it's not really flowing. It's really noticeable, and you guys really feel it as well. This is great though. We have Wands coming up as your underlying energy and Six of Wands at that. So success, victory, but we'll see how this plays out. I mean, this can be taking pride in your work. This can be recognition by other people for work that you've been doing something. Finally, you get recognized for it. That's an important message, actually, but I'll get to that in a moment when we get to your past energy. For now, at the heart of your reading, we have the Star. Beautiful energy, maybe biased because it is the card for Aquarius. So some of you may be dealing with an Aquarian, but this card talks about hope returning, healing. In the major arcana, this is the card that shows up after the Tower. And the Tower is where our whole life has just collapsed around our ears. But in the Star card, what happens is like, it's that star in the night sky, right? That guides you to your dream. It says, hey, your dream is still alive. You can still have that wish that you want. Come this way. So I know it said like this is wish fulfillment. I always find it as the promise of wish fulfillment, that you're headed in that right direction. It speaks to me more of hope. We always see this woman and she's emptying out her urns into this body of water, right? And it's like, why would she do that? There's already plenty of water there. Why would she give more? Why would she empty out her jugs into this water? Because she knows it's with faith and optimism that she does that. She knows that when she needs something back, she will be able to take it. It will be available to her. So this card to me speaks of hope, of healing, especially after a difficult time. And that, your dream is in sight. This can be a helping hand. This can be a new beginning. But that Star to me, it's that guidance. It's that hope that we receive. It may be like physically someone comes in to help us in our life, or hope returns and we have faith in the universe, in the divine plan, whatever it is our spiritual belief is. It's a very spiritual energy. And I love this at the heart of your reading. Now, the past energy, what we have coming up here is the Five of Swords. Now, this is a victory card, but it's not like the Six of Wands. These are both victory cards, but this one's a little different. We'll get back to this one in a moment, but in the Five of Swords, and this is your past, right? This is the foundation. So you've kind of had some kind of a victory, but it's been an empty victory. That's the whole thing with the Five of Swords. This can be a very ruthless energy. It can be a bit of a selfish energy. That can be you. That can be someone that you've been dealing with. This is that energy of someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. They will do whatever it takes. If it means costing friends, if it means stepping on people's toes, they don't care because they want what they want. It's a 5. 5s can feel very intense when they're happening. I always call them agents of chaos though, because I do believe that before every great change, there's lots of chaos, and that chaos is what causes the transformation, allows us to change. So with this card coming up here, it does feel like either, you went after something and yeah, you kind of may have gotten what you wanted, but it was an empty victory because it cost you too much to get that. Or someone did this to you. And trust me, if someone did this to you and you were the one left like these two at the back with all your swords taken away from you, they're not doing too great either. There's really no winners. It's a victory card, yes, but it's an empty victory. So, it's very much said that, there are no winners when the Five of Swords shows up because it's cost everyone too much. Whether you've experienced the loss or whether you're experiencing the perceived win, that changes. So maybe this is to do with this situation where, now how does this play out in everyday life? It's great talking about the energy as well. Say it was work and, you might have gotten that promotion that you wanted, but it wasn't that much more money and you ended up having to work late nights and stuff, and that's kind of annoyed your spouse or disappointed your family, and you've lost out, your friends are now annoyed with you. So, that's a loss. That's not a real victory. It can be in a relationship, like where somebody may have gone after something, like they wanted something. It doesn't really indicate breakups, but it's anything that someone, like a kind of ruthlessness. Um, and that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes if we truly want something, we have to really go after it. It's just, it depends which energy you are. There's always two energies that come up here. But if this is the past energy, look what it feels like. Now you're going for a true victory. That's not enough for you. Or if that was someone else that did that to you, you want this now. You can take pride in who you are. The other person may have won whatever they got, got one over you somehow. But, they didn't really get a true victory, sorry, but you have. You have a true victory coming up with the Six of Wands. Because this person can hold their head up high, right? And everyone comes out to see them. This guy might have the swords, but he's all by himself and everyone's kind of left him. But this one isn't. Everyone's this is that returning hero who comes back from whatever victory he's experienced, and everyone's come out in a parade to celebrate his victory. Okay. We have coming up in the present, the Judgment card. It's actually one of my favorite cards. And a lot of people don't like it, and understandably so, but I love the Judgment card. Judgment card talks about change, talks about transformation, talks about renewal, rebirth, second chances. Now, that makes sense, right? Especially if we've got this double victory thing going on, where you might have experienced a perceived loss or not a clear-cut victory before, you may be getting a second chance at doing that. That can be relationship, work, whatever's going on in your life. This here does talk about transformation, does talk about change. Now, those sound like great things, especially when we add, this is the phoenix rising up from the ashes, which it is. But it's a brutal energy. And as much as we talk about change, transformation, this is like down on your knees, crying out to God, saying, why? I can't take anymore. This is the energy of judgment. So as much as you are going through a transformation right now, I know it's not easy. Not when judgment shows up. And I do feel like this is a lot to do with Pluto, which has been squaring your sign for quite a while now with Pluto in Capricorn. But judgment here, if you have a look, the reason I say it's kind of brutal is you see these people, they're all rising up from their graves and they're all happy now. Yeah, and they're getting a second chance. They've got a new life coming in. But what has to be remembered is they had to die first to get reborn, right? So in a way, it can be, parts of ourselves that die away, or we have a transformation, yes, but what have we lost? What have we had to give up to become that person? So there's different stages of transformation with this card. First part is that, it's also the looking back, doing a review of the cycle that you've just been on. What have you learned? What have you been through? This, one of the things that comes up with this card is forgiveness, and that's the F word that nobody wants to hear. And I always get comments from people saying, I'll never be able to forgive so-and-so or whatever. And that makes me really sad, because when you cannot forgive, and we can't forgive immediately, it's not like you can just click your fingers and say, hey, you're forgiven. It doesn't work like that. That's why it's a review. We have to look back. But no matter what someone's done to you, and sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. It's not about forgiving someone else. We have to forgive ourselves that we didn't take care of ourselves, or whatever. Why did I do that? Why did I make that mistake? We can be so cruel to ourselves and so hard on ourselves. But when judgment shows up and it's talking about forgiveness, it's about being able to release the past. So, I mean, imagine I do something bad to you. I do something really awful, right? I'm that brutal energy. I'm this person that stole your swords, or, was conniving and sneaky and did whatever to you. I might trot off with my swords. I'm off into the sunset away, but you might remember that every single day. So that's me hurting you anew every single day, even though I'm off doing whatever. What you do is your karma. What I do is my karma. So by not being able to forgive me, you would be hurting yourself anew by that. So you don't forgive to help, to condone what the other person did, or to say, hey, it's okay to hurt me. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself. And like I said, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But with Judgment coming up, it does talk about releasing the past, understanding that everything that you've been through has taught you something. It's given you an experience. It's made you who you are today, which is this amazing person who's being reborn into a new life, a better life. You know, there's new opportunities now. But this is about letting go of the old life. They have to let go of what they've been through. That's not always easy. So that's the kind of difficult aspect of the Judgment card. But once you've released it, you can then face your future without fear. You then know that you can go forward, you can step forward, reborn. Now, we have coming up in the future justice. There's this kind of energy of, you know, some injustice that was done, having to kind of forgive it or move on from it. And then actually this can indicate apologies. This can indicate justice that is done. The scales are balanced. And it's kind of bizarre because, you know, most people would want this first. If someone's done me wrong, you want the apology from them first, right? You want the justice first. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you're having to almost like get past it or move on. And that's hard. You know, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, no matter what spiritual spin you put on it. That's not easy. That is not easy. But it kind of feels like you get justice anyway once you do that. Justice talks about fairness, balance, justice being done in a situation. Can be, you know, legal recourse. We turn to the law to get justice. This can just also indicate like karmic scales being balanced, like karmic debts being paid. If someone's done us wrong with that Five of Swords energy in the past, this can be an apology now. You know, someone makes amends to us, or we have to make amends to someone else. It feels good though. We have the star above this, right? We have the star above this. Actually, I didn't talk about the Six of Wands above Judgment. I was going on so long about Judgment. Sorry about that, Aries. So with Judgment coming in, this is that second chance. This is that second chance at victory. This time it will be a clear-cut victory. A clear-cut victory. It's no longer about, you know, that Five of Swords energy, which was like an empty victory. This is a clear victory that you get. And it's because of this transformation. Like, things have changed. I always say with Judgment, and like with Judgment, people say, like, you know, they feel bad, or it's a transformation, it's change, you know, when is it going to end? And I always say, until you feel like your back's up against the wall and you're like, I can't take anymore, you're not really truly transforming. And it's a cruel thing to say, but I always try to make it clear, because the energy of this card, we make it sound really nice. Oh, it's change, it's renewal, it's rebirth, second chances. They don't come easy. They don't come easy. But once they do, and it feels like you're at the tail end of that, because you have such beautiful cards surrounding it. You do get justice, you do get fairness, the karmic scales are balanced, and hope returns. There is hope here. There is guidance, there is a helping hand, there is, you know, a clear path to your dreams, to your wishes, which you may have not seen for a while. You may have even not had a dream, like, you know, you'd kind of been lost in this, doing the review, looking back. Where does that lead? What's the advice coming up for you? Love this card when it comes up for Aries. We have the Knight of Wands. Now, this guy's been in the rounds. I think he came up for Capricorn and Pisces got this. They got it at the heart of their reading. You've got it as your advice. This is, do not forget your adventurous spirit. Don't forget your fire. You may have been burned. I mean, look, we have this guy above this. Whether you did the burning, whether you were the one that got burned, you don't forget your sense of adventure. This is the return of excitement, enthusiasm, getting out there, exploring. This could, I mean, I say he's the traveler, he's the explorer, he's the adventurer, full of life, passion, creative ideas. But I get the main thing from here is excitement. There's excitement returning here. These two are very similar, right? They're both on their, like, well, he's on a salamander. He's not exactly on a horse, but, you know, that's like both wands, both have that same kind of adventurous spirit, and the explorers, they go out and discover new things. So this is very much your energy, like I said, and it's all about getting back in touch with that. Right, let's have a look at your oracle cards and see what we have coming up there. So the first one that I have for you is romantic feelings, and it says your feelings are real and worth exploring. Now, for some of you, if this is a love reading for you guys, this happened in the past. Someone did something shifty, something shady. You might have been on the receiving end of someone being quite ruthless. Or, that someone thought you were like that with them. It's that whole once bitten, twice shy kind of energy. This is telling you, be the explorer, right? Be the adventurer. Go out on this new adventure. Explore your feelings. It doesn't have to be like, love at first sight or whatever, that declaring yourself, but at least explore. Have a look at what you're feeling. It's okay to look at them. It's okay to explore them. They may not turn into anything, but it's fun doing the exploring, right? That's what the Knight of Wands tells us. How would you do that? How would you explore your feelings? Well, we have number 46, spend some quality time together, from the Whispers of Love. And it says, it is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. Now, some of you, if you've been going through this, it's really easy to alienate the people that we love when we're going through this. It's understandable, right? Because we're bloody going through it, doing that review, being changed. I spoke to, it was a Libra actually I spoke to today, who was telling me what a difficult time, and it was judgment energy that she had been going through back in October. So it's not easy, but we can kind of alienate people, like, because we're not at our best and we don't want to impose that on other people. And we're very kind of introverted when we're going through judgment energy. So now might be that time to get back on your salamander and go out and hang out with people. Like, even if it's not a romantic partner. I mean, this is it is Whispers of Love, but it talks about love of all kinds. So spending time with loved ones, with family members. It's time to get back out there, Aries. Okay, and you have this kind of, your reading feels like it's kind of pushing you to go forward with strength and courage, because we have coming up from the Wisdom of the Oracle, number 36, come to the edge. There's this card came up for Leo a few months ago, and somebody in comments said that it looked like a teacup or something. And I just can't stop seeing it as that now. Actually, it's got a glass of wine now, but yeah, anyway. So come to the edge. It's a card of literally of that. It's telling you have no other options now but to take bold steps, to be courageous. You're at the edge. It's time to take that leap of faith. This is like the strength card. It's telling you that you have to kind of go for it. You have no choices left. It's taking that leap of faith now. Or you can stay put. I mean, like her, she can stay on this little, I don't know if you can see this clearly. Oh God, that just wipes it out. She's on this little platform, on this little bit of land here. She can stay there or she can leap. And she'll end up somewhere else. It's about courage. It's about trying something new. It's about being the Knight of Wands. This is fire energy. I mean, if this is not you, this may be another fire sign. So that would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone who has that kind of energy. And maybe they've come into your life. And like I said, this guy's been doing the rounds. And because we have this above, someone did this to you before and you're afraid this person will do that again. But not with this, not with justice coming up in the future. There will be fairness, there will be balance. And then from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms even, we have the Fire Prince coming up. This is about optimism and aggression. This is just this doubled up. It's doubled up. Literally the same meaning goes with this. Be optimistic, go out and explore. And yeah, like, when we say aggression, you don't have to be angry with people. You don't have to put other people down. It doesn't have to be that kind of aggression, but we can aggressively go after our dreams. We can aggressively put our creative projects out there. It's about that fire. It's about that hope, about the optimism that, we feel some passion or we feel that creative urge and we are putting that energy out into the world. Like I said, these two are the same, the Fire Prince and the Knight of Wands. So it's almost like that energy is doubled up for you guys. Very much your energy, Aries, very much your energy. I like to see that for you.